Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, whatever the time may be. That's the beauty, the power, the ubiquitous nature of technology. It's me, Mr. Kraus, a fearless English teacher here at Downey High School in sunny Southern California. And, well, it's a little overcast, a little foggy this morning, but I'm sure it'll clear up. If it's the end of the year, you're with me. It's time for open topic research. You could look at this research as, well, I think it's remarkable in the sense that it's something like autodidactic education, something like project-based learning, something like, well, maybe you don't need us. Maybe you do. Maybe there is some support, but maybe you don't. So you can go out on the web and learn about something. Topics and things to consider. If you're got enough time in your academic year that you're studying with me and Miss Evans usually, just know that the research you do for your informative project can be used again towards your persuasive project, and just make sure that your topic is controversial, and check, of course, with your teachers to make sure it fits for both projects. That said, if you're just doing informative or there's something you'd really like to learn more about, the informative paper is wide open. Again, just as long as it's school appropriate. Some things to think about. This research log is meant to be a place where you capture the research as it happens. All right. In the old days, we used 3x5 index cards, and I'll be going through this handout here to sort of model it. So it's your research log. Make a copy. You know how you guys do this. File, make a copy, and then it spits one out in your drive for you, and then use that to edit, okay? It keeps the original clean. You're gonna make anything that is in purple, you wanna delete it. So deleting the directions once you're comfortable with them. This particular academic year, your research log, 5 sources is due on Friday, 5 for Friday. If you want to link to your original research log, it's embedded in the directions. Speaking of links, there's the bibliography website, which I prefer, citefast.com. However, please don't be a one-clicker. Make sure you fill in as much information as you can glean from the particular source you found on the web. Bibliography video, in case you're curious or need a refresher on that. And then a video on how to do this handout will be posted right here. But again, if you don't need any of these links, please delete them. Speaking of purple stuff that should be deleted, let's keep going. Your research question, you can find that on your CRAP evaluation handout. We modeled it, right? There it is from a student example. And so we're going to put that in here with a few quick clicks. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys just saw here's the research question. It should have been at the top, right? Copy and paste, Control C, go over to your doc, Control V, and boom, there it is. We want to delete purple like the directions say. So that's like that. Support or counter. Well, does it support your side of things or particular angle of what you're leaning towards? So do that. So this particular one is a support. Let's see if it'll come up. Oh boy, don't want to do that. So let's type in support. Again, it should not be in purple for your work. So we're going to change the color to black. And then the source, right? We want to... Oh, it's not going to do it. All right. We're going to go over to our Google Doc, copy and paste the bibliography, Control C, come back here, get rid of that purple, Control V. Having the link, it should be embedded in your bibliographies. Having a link is critical. I can't tell you guys how many times this particular website in question actually was, I don't know, 20 minutes of clicking and researching and try to remind myself of this particular website. And what link do we want, right? Here's that actual website. We want this link, so you can just right-click, copy, or once you click on it, you can hit Control A, Control C, and come over to your research log and Control V. Now, what's a note? From the particular article, it's a quote, like a sentence that you like. It's a graph or chart or even an image. For example, if you wanted to do an image of Logan Fay's, the actual leopard man, he's quite stunning in appearance. That would be great. Okay, and then when you do your quoting or you do your charts, make sure it's cited in MLA 8, you know, the parentheses you usually do author's last name, and if it's from the internet, you put web. So in this case, it would be something like, and this is going to be necessary phase web, and the period goes all the way after. All right, so let's go grab a quote from the website that we like. Here we go. Again, that question of can you reject Western society? So I grab this, it's actually a pair of sentences. Go over to my research log, and I'm going to paste it in. It doesn't hurt to do your quote marks. It doesn't hurt. Get rid of that period. Remember, one period at the very end. And then your work should not be in purple. So it could look like that. And I'd like to add one more thing as far as the stuff you guys are changing. It really does help if it's in a dark, vivid color like blue. And it doesn't take you guys but a second, and it makes mine and Miss Edmonds' job immensely more efficient as we go through and evaluate your sources and your ability to keep track of your research, okay? So that didn't take too long. And you can see visually it's quite nice when you guys do that. All right, do you need a second quote? Can you have a third quote? Yes. Okay, so from source 1, I have note 1A, note 1B. So the 1 denotes that this is my first source. The A, B, and C denote the different quotes that I've gathered from this website. So of course I could have more than one quote. So let's say I want to give a second quote. I can put it in there. I can grab my, that I've already done this citing. Just grab it, Control C, come over here, get rid of that period, Control V, and then, you know, just a quick little hint of formatting here won't hurt us. We'll get it all and set up the same. I need some quote marks up there. Now, do I, cannot, yes. So it would be note 1B. So a third note, it's not necessary. You just need one quote from a source. But in case you did want to do a third or a fourth or a fifth, you just follow the ABC pattern with note 1, and then you keep going. Now that's not necessary, so let's just keep going. I do like that you guys continue to post your research question on subsequent pages. So if you ever dip down into a new page, please repost your research question in case you guys ever do print this stuff out, all right? It keeps your focus on what you're looking for. So the key person in this article is some guy named Tom Lepard. So I'm going to go right over here to Google Images, Tom Lepard, and I just wanted to model again that you guys can have, so he's super tattooed. He doesn't live in society, so to speak. And then these pictures are obviously gathered, right click. Let's see, we'll actually go to the original source, and then we'll end up doing a bibliography on this guy and finding a little bit more out about this Scottish hermit. All right, so let me do that. So I got a title, I've got an author, I've got a date published. I could scroll all the way to the bottom eventually and find out, well, usually these modern websites do this to you. Grab the toolbar, just keep pulling, and eventually it figures out. Will it ever? Nationwide News, PTY Ltd. So limited, that much I do know. Not sure what the PTY stands for, but I would assume it's Party Limited, copyright 2024. So there's my publisher. Took me a bit of a second. I can go over here to CiteFast. As soon as I get rid of the ads, make sure I'm on MLA8. That looked like a online newspaper, and I'll put that information in. So obviously I put in the author, the date, make sure you check that it's online, and then you get into this information right here. And so it goes a little bit like this. So the information is gathered. You come down here when you eventually get going and it'll say save citation. You come over here to save citation. That's where you find it. Again, I don't mean to rehash this. It's in a separate video. I wouldn't click select all. I'd grab this, Control C, come over to my research log. This is going to be a support problem. I better get my note down in here. Bibliography. There it is. So here's where bibliography goes. Change it to blue like we've been talking about. Again, if you hit enter tab, it'll break the lines up. Enter and enter. And it's okay that it's set up like this. Don't worry about it. The websites are known not to have any breaks, and someone looking at this can figure that out. Then I want my source link, which is built into here, so I'll just copy and paste it again. Control C, put that in there, backspace, just to link these things. And we get rid of that period. And there we go. Note 2A. So that's going to be that image that we wanted. Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to right click, copy image. By the way, you might be able to, and I know it's behind my face here, you might be able to click and drag a lot of these images. So let's try and do that. You just drag it over to the tile and drop it in Note 2A. And it totally did. You don't need to resize or anything. It's just a habit of mine. I only need it to be so big. And there it is. For citing this, again, what was the last name of the author was Sarkis, and then space web, and that would be in parentheses, and no need for a period. It's not a sentence. All right. So the only thing I really didn't do on this page was mention that this would be support in my own work, and so I could change that to blue, and then my research question, which obviously second page should have the research question again. So I'm just going to throw that up there real quick and just keep that habit going. So source 2, link A, I don't need more, but if I did, I could do note 2B, note 2C, so on and so forth in case that article had anything good in it. And this is how you do your research log, guys. Quotes, pictures, graphs, charts, all good. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Miss Edmonds. Have a good one.